And the Detroit Lions are 1-4. Yay. Woohoo.
Probably.
Congratulations. He looks like my 7-year-old playing Madden for the first time. He doesn't punt. He just goes for it. Oh, field goal? 40-yarder? Easy. Nah. Tell me you don't know how to coach without telling me. To just say, I don't need the points. I get it. You clearly know more than everybody else. He has no business being a head football coach in the NFL. On a beautiful Monday, October 10th, and the Detroit Lions are 1-4. Yay. Woohoo. Congratulations.
Probably the worst case scenario through 5 games.
Is going well. Hey, man. I have a plan. I just need you guys to believe in me. God. 29-0. All right. Y'all know what's about to happen. 29-0. Patriots absolutely dominate the Detroit Lions in an afternoon where you force the Patriots and a rookie third-string quarterback to only punt twice. Jeff, they lose 29-0 to a Matt Patricia-led offense, which honestly the offense didn't do much. The defense actually did a good job of
22 besides the fumble 6. They
did well. I thought the defensive performance wasn't atrocious, but it wasn't any good. It didn't do them any favors. They did have the one interception.
Right.
It was a bad game. It was an embarrassing game. And the truth is, guys, it's not it. Sorry. I'm sorry. He ain't it. I'm not gonna come here and say you gotta fire this man. Fire Dan Campbell. We're not doing that this morning, or at least I'm not.
No, I'm not either.
But he ain't it. He looks like my 7-year-old playing Madden for the first time. He doesn't punt. He just goes for it. Oh, field goal? 40-yarder? Easy. Nah. We don't need that. 3 points? What's 3 points when you're down 6-0? Who needs that? And then it results in a fumble 6. I mean,
it was every opposite.
Here, guys, I'll be very honest with you. Jeff, I really thought about this. You know what? I'm asking myself hard questions last night. And the truth is, you know what I know about Dan Campbell? The truth is, all I know about him is that all I have to look forward to is questionable fourth down decisions, questionable late game clock management, questionable play calling, along with 0 in-game or second half or pre-game adjustments. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist with this coach. He can't coach. That's for certain. He really can't coach. Well, Adam, it's 22 games in. All right, 22 games in. Brian Dable and Kevin O'Connell have coached 5 games each. They have just as many wins as he does through 22 games.
Throw Robert Saleh in there.
Rookie coaches that have started only this year, that have more wins than he does this year. Matt Eberflus, Nathaniel Hackett, Dennis Allen, Doug Peterson, Mike McDaniel.
Robert Saleh.
Well, he's not a rookie coach this year, but...
Second year.
Yeah.
Like Dan Campbell, yeah.
The only rookie coach that was in... the only rookie coach that made it through the whole season, that won as many games as Dan Campbell did, was David Culley. Year 1. He was fired. And then, of course, the only rookie coach this year who has as many wins as Dan Campbell is Lovie Smith.
And they just beat the Jags.
Lovie Smith. That's where we're at this morning. That's where your Detroit Lions are at this morning. They're not a good football team. And when I say they're not a good football team, I don't mean they're talentless. I mean they are a poorly coached football team. A poorly coached football team that every day, that after every game, it's, hey, man, we got to get better, man. Hey, 100% on me, man. Hey, look, you know what? The Patriots didn't really do anything that we didn't expect. It was just really, us not being able to get golf in a rhythm. Really, buddy. They didn't do anything. You expected that and still had nothing for it. Tell me you don't know how to coach without telling me. Awful. Pathetic. I got nothing to say on this guy.
That was terrible. It was terrible. And the decision to go for it, 4th and 9, you're down 6-0. Like, that's a manageable game, and that's what we're holding Dan Campbell accountable for. Like, you're a head coach, field position, decision making. Like, that's the stuff we constantly question Dan for. So I have no comment. And I read a tweet. Shout out to Jim Costa. The last time the Lions were shut out, it was November 22nd, 2020. 6 days later, the head coach is fired. So obviously different situation. That's the difference between Dan and Matt Patricia. Matt Patricia had a better roster, and they underperformed. The only thing that Dan Campbell has right now is they don't have talent defensively. But that was an all-around bad game. Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell, there's plenty of blame to go around. If you want to throw Jared in there, that's fine. But that was god-awful, Adam. I mean, to say, this is what frustrates me. Every Sunday, watching a Dan Campbell press conference, the first thing that comes out of his mouth, that's on me. I didn't have this team prepared. When are you going to have this team prepared?
That message are we?
That's
4 games now this year. Hell, even 5 if you want to include the win. Or hey, got to clean things up, man. Got to clean things up. Look, I'm not going to lie to you. Brad Holmes doesn't get to escape anything either. Now, do I believe that he has done a good job? I do. Am I really concerned that his rookies, 2 of them, Jamison Williams and Josh Pascal, have yet to suit up? Nah, not really. Do I believe that coaching is really the crutch of this team? I do. But Brad Holmes did have an opportunity to go out in free agency. I'm not saying spend the farm, but do a little more for this team.
Right.
But hey, he said, you know what? We believe in the talent, the young talent that we have. People like a Jerry Jacobs, who now Dan Campbell is sitting up there at the podium and saying, look, when we get Jerry back, man, his communication, man, it's going to help this defense a lot. And I just keep hearing what's going to happen. And I have a plan, and I have this, and I have that. And the reality was, you know what, guys? That was expected. That is the difference in coaching. That's not a talent issue. That's just not a talent issue. Jacksonville, a 3-win football team last year. They spent all their free agency money on Christian Kirk. Yeah, I don't think anybody's losing sleep over that. The Giants, the Seahawks, the Saints, whoever you want to point out, the Texans. Texans have as many wins as you do. TJ Hawkinson, really back to prime form. I got to say, round of applause for TJ Hawkinson. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 performance for him. 4 targets, 1 reception. Hell of a job. I mean, that is the Eric Ebron-esque TJ Hawkinson, I know. And what do you know? Coming off a career game where, quote again, his team needs him to step up and have a big game. Nothing. Nada. What you saw in New England, man, is this simple. They got outcoached. The Patriots weren't uber talented. They're not much more talented than your football team. You have the better offensive line. Mm-hmm. You have the more capable run game, even though theirs does go head-to-head with you. I will give them credit.
It sounds
New England
like last
can run
week.
the ball.
Doesn't it not?
It's the same story every week now. You have the better receiving core.
Yeah.
You have the better tight end. Let's see. We'll give them the pass rush for sure. I mean, your pass rush is non-existent at the moment.
Yeah.
Secondary play, you have to give to New England. Really, anything defensively, you got to give to New England. And somehow, some way, you allow a team that was averaging 14 points a game to put up 29 while you put up a donut. And you continue, Dan, to just say, I don't need the points. I get it. I get it. You clearly know more than everybody else. And only in Detroit, and this is actually one of my favorite things, only in Detroit can you cold call and get a job in the NFL. That's what Dan Campbell did. And honestly, guys, the truth is Dan Campbell is out of touch with reality and his scope as a leader, as the head coach of this football team. He has no business being a head football coach in the NFL of any legitimate franchise. Let me preface it by that. Because lucky for Dan, he was hired by arguably the worst franchise over the last 58 years in the Detroit Lions. And all the inexperience flaws that you could point out on Dan Campbell going into Sunday, Bill Belichick and his coaching staff exposed it. Yes, his coaching staff that included Joe Judge and Matt Patricia. Everybody was talking about this game going into Sunday. The revenge tour, Matt Patricia getting one back on him, not avoiding the 1-4 trap. And here we are, Monday morning, 8:10, live from Feldman. The Lions are 1-5. Nothing's changed. It's not that it's the same old Lions. It is another pathetic coaching hire. And remember, we talked about Jim Caldwell. We went from Jim Caldwell to Matt Patricia. Well, right now it's looking like you went from Matt Patricia to Dan Campbell. That's not any better.
Yeah, he's a better human being. But
Oh, wow. Yeah, I care about that. Win.
and this is the thing that frustrates you too, Adam, is back-to-back weeks you face the Seahawks, you face the Patriots, two teams that are very conservative, two teams that don't go for it on fourth down much. They choose to kick the field goal. They win. Like, that's the problem. The Lions, I think, this is the only time it's happened in NFL history that you go for it that many times on fourth down, you don't get a single one. So, for me, it is frustrating. I mean, you talk about improvement. Last year, you were 0-8 through your first 8 games. You have a chance to be 1-7. 1-7. Like in a league where they encourage teams to turn around very quickly. So I don't want to hear the talent.
Name off a few
mold.
coaches that I just don't like.
That you just don't
around
like.
around the league.
Well, I mean, you're notorious. Matt Rule.
Okay, who else?
Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay, who else?
Maybe Pete Carroll. Not a big Pete
Getting
Carroll
close,
fan.
NFC team. You know, I didn't like them going into the year. I have to eat my words on them.
What division?
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, Mike McCarthy.
Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
For all the crap I give him, he's won 4 straight games with a backup quarterback.
Yes.
Oh, well, Adam, they have Micah Parsons. They have Trayvon.
Yeah, they have a
Davis.
defense.
All right, fine. Yeah.
They do
You're
have
right.
a
You're right.
defense.
100% right. Again, I won't concede that they do have X factor players that are delivering for them, finding ways to win with a backup. You have your starting quarterback, can't get him in any rhythm. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. You've only thrown the ball 8 times. Very reminiscent of what happened in the Philly game. You're not learning from your mistakes. You're just not. You put Amon-Ra St. Brown out there. He wasn't ready. He was probably 50%. He couldn't cut for the life of him.
No.
So that seemed like a waste. Josh Reynolds went out there, hobbled, injured, and you still kept him out there towards the end when you were down 23, calling your timeouts like you had some opportunity to come back in the game. The guy is out of touch with reality. He has no idea how to coach. And the truth is, I can't wait. I truly can't wait to get to the people on this tomorrow.
I can't wait either.
But the reality is I do want to hear what you have to say, because I'm not going to sit here on a Monday and say, Dan Campbell out. All what I am going to say is I told you so. And I told you so because of the inexperience. I told you so because of who are the Lions to be trendsetters and go out and hire a tight ends coach as the head coach of their football team, not an offensive coordinator like the rest of the league.
And a
is
guy
doing.
who didn't get an interview, a single interview during that offseason.
No, he wasn't on anybody's radar.
No,
but
he wasn't.
hey, look, Sheila, I got the plan of the century. Let me tell you, Sheila, give me 10 minutes on the phone. Sold her on everything except, I don't know, actually coaching and winning football games.
The culture.
And the reality is, through 22 games, and Stick, if you don't mind, throw this up on the screen. Through 22 games, Dan Campbell is 7-14-1. Now, if I were to tell you there is a coach in the NFL right now who's only coached 5 games, who has as many wins as Dan Campbell, who would you say that is?
I'd have to guess Brian Dable.
You can throw out Brian Dable on the screen. That's the reality. 4 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Both have yet to make the playoffs. Oh, and Dan Campbell through 22 games has called 59 fourth down attempts. 59. Only 4 for Dable, and he seems to be winning without going for it on fourth down all the time. That's interesting. How about we throw up Nick Sirianni, maybe a playoff coach? Let's go to Nick Sirianni. 14-8, 1 playoff win, 36 fourth down call attempts in the same amount of games. 23 less than the Detroit Lions. Let's go to David Culley. He was fired. He was a joke of a head coach out in Houston. 4-13, the same amount of wins and 5 less games than Dan Campbell, and he called it 38 less times on fourth down. Oh, what a surprise. And then there's Arthur Smith, who was robbed out of a potential game-winning drive with the awful roughing the passer penalty on Tom Brady, which was a joke. Having said that, he's got more than double your wins with just as less of a talented team as yours. 9-13 through 22 games. And here we are.
And Adam, can I ask you?
Good morning, everybody.
Can I ask you something about those graphics? Name those quarterbacks. Daniel Jones.
Marcus Mariota. Let me think here. Davis Mills.
Oh gosh.
Jalen Hurts. Not going to say anything.
No, he's
damn good
quarterback
now. Having said that,
But that's the point. Daniel Jones didn't throw a passing touchdown. So I mean, it's.
Wait, didn't the Giants just beat the Packers with Daniel Jones? Oh.
Yeah, they did.
Excuse me.